This car cost me $75 in real life, and it might just be the rarest car of all time in Forza Horizon 5. And today we're gonna dive into 5 other of the rarest cars that you can still get your hands on in Forza Horizon 5. And kicking things off with the Mercedes-AMG Black Series. Now this car will probably take you over an hour minimum to get, because right when it released, this car was immediately nowhere to be found on the auction house. I didn't feel like doing the event because I believe it was a 200-point reward, which I just didn't want to spend the time to do, so I figured I would auction snipe for it. Which turned out to be a mistake because I think it actually took me longer to auction snipe it than it would have just to complete the series and get it legitimately. Needless to say, I didn't learn anything because I still auction snipe for most of my cars. And if you intend on getting your hands on this car, at this point, well, tough luck. Like, you're probably not gonna. Let's move on. Now, next up, I want to throw in a car that you actually have a really good chance of getting right now, but the longer that this video is up, the lower your chances get. Because it just released, the price is still climbing slightly, and it's not as rare as it's going to be. It's the Volkswagen Thing. And it literally just released like 2 series ago, not even 1 series ago. And it is literally your best chance ever right now to get it. When I auction sniped for this thing, it actually only took me like 5 minutes to get it, and that was about a week ago. However, lots of people are gonna wanna get their hands on this car. It's incredibly good in D-Class racing, and it just looks really cool. So if you don't have one of these yet, go get your hands on it right now, because this might be your last chance for a while. Now next up, I call this the impossible car, because at this point, it's pretty much just impossible to get. It hasn't released in so long, it sells for next to nothing on the auction house. It's the Sierra 700R. I believe it is only released the 1 time into the game, and lots of people didn't get it at the time because it didn't look very special. But now we realize that it's the topping class for a lot of different off-road and cross-country events, because its handling is that of a go-kart with the acceleration of the Sierra Alpha. Now it does have a low top speed, but that doesn't really matter in any of those events. So with all that mixed together, every time one does show up on the auction house, people are always sniping for it. So sure, you could sit down and give yourself a couple hours and maybe you'll get your hands on it, but what I recommend with this one is eventually they gotta release it again. Just wait till then. Now next up is, I think it's the Hoonicorn V2. At the top there, this exact one. Because there are 2 Hoonicorns in the game, and one of them is very readily available, and the other one is this. I don't know why this car is always so rare. It is almost identical to the other Hoonicorn if you want it just for driving. However, something very special about this car is in terms of the skill multiplier in the car mastery, you can go up to a ×8. So if you're going for a top score, like a world record or something, this is almost your best car to do that in, and it's never readily available. You have to wait for it to come into playlists, festival playlists that is, and it doesn't sell for a whole lot. So not often are people selling them. It does sell for more than other cars we have on this list, but all those reasons combined do make it pretty rare, and I haven't seen any of these cars show up in quite a while. But that being said, you might even have it and not know it was rare because it looks exactly like the Hoonicorn V1. Again, if I'm mixing those 2 up, I'm sorry, one of them is rare, one of them is not. And finally, my favorite car on the list today, the Mini Cooper Forza Edition. Why is this my favorite car? I want you to listen to something. It's electric. It's the exact same as the 1965 Mini Cooper, except for the fact that it's electric. So not same at all. Now this car did release fairly recently, in the past couple of months, so there are a few more of them floating around, but it sells again for next to nothing. So the only times these show up are people with modded accounts just trying to get more in them into the economy, which I'm all for. I think Forza should be doing that on their own if they're gonna lock car prices. Or the more unfortunate one, but maybe not if you don't care about that kind of thing, is people trying to give it to their friends and then you just swoop in and snag it at a really cheap price. Those are pretty much the only two ways you will find this appearing on the auction house. In my most recent rare cars video, I actually hunted for it, and obviously, as you can see, I did get it, not to spoil anything, but indeed I spoiled everything. This is the final rare car, and you actually have a decent shot at getting it, but again, with auction sniping, everything comes down to luck. So let me know down below if you ended up trying to go for this car or not. And that's gonna wrap it up for this list. Now, I'm sure there are cars I missed that might even be more rare than the Sierra 700R. So if they are, leave them down below, and I'll make sure to get my hands on them just in time for the next one of these videos. And who knows, maybe your comment appears in one of my rare car sniping videos. As always, we'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace!